Hello, we're live. All right, here we are. So, my name's Amanda. I am the social media director here at Camp Canine, and this is our first live stream, which is really exciting. So, we are in the grooming salon. We are going to meet our groomer, Sarah. You're going to be able to ask questions at any time. Feel free to just comment in the comment thread below. I'll be your voice. I can ask her the questions. And we're just going to get some tips from her and go through the grooming process. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So first things first, let's meet Sarah.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. And who is this that we have here?
This is Maggie.
Hi,
she's
Maggie.
a mini golden doodle, and she's very good.
Awesome. Look at you, Maggie. You're beautiful. Oh, we're so excited. Awesome. Okay, so are most dogs this calm? Because she's just like standing here like so chill.
Not all dogs, but there are, there are a few that are anxious on coming in. But she happens to be very good. She's very used to the process.
Okay, that's good. That's what is it that you can do though as like a parent or you as a groomer to make the dogs be more calm during the process or at least enjoy the process more?
For the owner, it is very important to come in. This is a very happy place. Don't be nervous. Don't be anxious. We're going to take very good care of your pet.
Interesting. So the owner's attitude affects the attitude of their pet?
Very much so. The dogs feel exactly what the owner's feeling. On the outside, they can seem fine, but on the inside, they know exactly how they're feeling.
Aww. Interesting. Very interesting. Hi, Maggie. Can I say hello? Wonderful. And what else can the parents do?
You definitely want to start young. You know,
Okay.
even if they're not ready for a haircut, they can come in, they can just hang out, they can get to know us, they can come and get treats, come for brush out, bath. We'll get them set to, they're going to like it and enjoy and run in here and not be nervous.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. All right. So let's talk about your grooming process. So what are you doing right now? Is this how you start?
Every groomer is different. Every groomer starts at a different place. I start with the body first and then work my way from there.
Gotcha. Very cool. What about, well, okay. So I've been hearing about things called a sanitary trim. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Sanitary trim is to keep your dog hygienic. It takes away the hair from the tush so no poop gets in it, and underneath and around the eyes to make sure there's no fungus or bacteria built up.
Gotcha. Okay, so you do the body and then would you do the sanitary trim, or does it just kind of depend on the dog?
Usually I'll do most of the dog's body and save the sanitary for last. Sometimes I do it before I scissor, sometimes I do it after.
Gotcha.
And it just depends on where
Look
I'm
how
going.
good Maggie's being. You're being so good, Maggie.
She's a very good girl. She's a very good girl.
And while she is working on the body, this might be a good time to talk about the services that we offer, since we did mention the sanitary trim. But we offer a variety of services. One of the things that we offer is just a brush out. So Sarah mentioned bringing your dog to camp often. And one of the ways that you can do that, well, not necessarily camp, but take them to a groomer, take them to a salon often, and that'll just help them maintain the skin and the fur of the dog. And one of the ways that we do that is through a brush out. So do you want to talk to them about kind of what a brush out is?
Sure. I recommend coming every 4 to 8 weeks for a groom, but for some people, it doesn't work. So in between, a good alternative is to come and just have your dog brushed out, spruced up, so that it's not such a extensive process when they do wind up coming in. The coat can still breathe, there's no mats, it makes it more enjoyable for the pet. That's the main thing that dogs don't like the groomer for.
Is the matted?
Is the matted.
Oh, Maggie.
You know, like when you're a kid and your mom's brushing the knots out of your hair.
Oh, yes, I remember
You hate it. It's the same for them.
Gotcha. Interesting. So bringing them more often, even just for brush outs if you don't do the bath, will help them enjoy the process more.
Definitely. And especially if you're not brushing at home. A lot of people use a slicker brush, which looks like this, or a pin brush to try to brush the dog.
Gotcha.
That will only get the knots out of the top half of the coat. It's very, very important that you always use a metal comb to go through your dog after using those kind of brushes.
And that's specifically for long-haired dog, or is that?
For, you know, short-haired dog that wouldn't get a haircut, it's I would recommend like a curry comb. It looks like a rubber kind of brush.
Interesting.
But for dogs that are groomed, they definitely need to be combed out as well as brushed out.
Gotcha. And we do brush outs here. We do brush outs. They start at $10. They go up from there just depending on the dog's breed and the condition of their coat when they do come in. So that's one of the things that we offer here. We also offer the bath. So the bath is the bath, the brush out, and the blow dry. We have bathers here, and then Sarah is our groomer. So Sarah doesn't handle the bathing process, but she does do all of the body work. So do you want to tell them a little bit about what is entailed in the bath? I know there's a little extra stuff that we kind of throw in here at camp.
Sure, they do. When they come in, they get their nails done, they get the ears cleaned, they get their teeth brushed, and they get the anal glands expressed.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about anal glands. What is that? What do we do here for parents when we say we are going to express their dog's anal glands?
There are internal glands and there's external glands. We do the outer glands. Your vet would do the internal.
Interesting.
A lot of people aren't aware that there are two.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
That, you know, if we do the external and then your pet gets scared or frightened or expresses them, it's most likely the internal glands.
I see. Okay. And you also mentioned like teeth brushing, nail clipping. Can you talk to us about that?
Sure. The teeth brushing, we just brush. We don't do scalings. We don't do tartar removal. That is, you know, either at a clinic or at your vet would do. But brushing every day at home and then coming here, if you come monthly to get a good brush, will definitely help to reduce the expense of a dental visit at the vet.
Interesting. Okay. Maggie, can I touch her?
Yeah.
It's all nice. All nice and cut. Look at that.
She's your baby girl.
We did get a question here. So they would like to know how often you should get your dog bathed or groomed. And can you ever like bathe or groom your dog too much?
You can definitely bathe or groom too much. The natural oils of the coat, I would not recommend having your dog groomed or bathed in less than a month's time, especially for a short-haired dog.
So like once a month?
At the most, once a month. For, you know, if you want to come in and just do a little maintenance, like have, you know, their feet cleaned and brushed out, that'll help to get a lot of that dirt out and keep them cleaner.
Okay. Well, there you have it. That's, and then for the long hair, did you say like how often you should do that?
Depending on the length, if you want to go, you know, if dogs have an extremely long coat, like a show coat, that needs to be brushed and combed at least every day and groomed at least once a month, 6 weeks at the most.
Okay.
For like Maggie's coat, like this length, I would not go longer than about 7 weeks, 7-8 weeks.
Every 7 weeks, get her like a full groom.
Yeah.
And then the brush outs in between.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. And then back to the services that we offer. In the bath, we offer, you mentioned cleaning the ears. Can I ask what that means?
Sure, not all. Some dogs need their ears plucked, which is removing the hair from the ear canal, which with the hair left inside the ear canal can cause moisture to sit and cause infection and fungus, bacteria, all sorts of that, like stuff like that. With dogs that don't have hair in their ears, it's a good idea just to have them cleaned for similar reasons without the water sitting in them.
Okay, I see. Very interesting. So you're doing the neck area now. Ooh. And it looks like she's got like, is the body done? Because it looks done.
The top half is
Hi, Maggie.
almost done. There's scissoring that we're gonna do in a little bit.
Scissoring.
Yes. Now Maggie gets her legs scissored. Not all dogs do. A lot of dogs will get the same length all over, where I would be doing the same thing I'm doing to her body. But she gets a little bit of a different look. And we'll get to that shortly.
Awesome. She's being so good.
She's always good. She's very good.
We just got the question, how long does a groom usually take?
It varies greatly on the breed, the coat, how relaxed they are. Like Maggie's very good. She's very relaxed, just sits there and lets you do your thing. Some dogs are very nervous. They're not familiar with the procedure. They've had, you know, they relate it to bad things. Sometimes the noise of the clipper, if a dog is afraid of a lawnmower or a weed whacker or any of that stuff, that noise.
They like assimilate it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So once they get used to it and they know it's not going to hurt them, they usually within 2 or 3 times are over that fear.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wonderful. And we do usually tell all new clients that come, we say 3 to 4 hours just to make sure that we do have the time to, you know, give each dog the attention that they need and deserve, especially in their first visit.
Yeah, we definitely want to, in between, after the bath, they, you know, decompress, calm down, get a drink of water, relax, and then we will start the groom. It also leaves room for talking to the clients to try to figure out what exactly it is that they want.
Sure.
And to get to know the dogs better if there's new clients.
Interesting.
Sometimes certain dogs will come in and they won't be in the best condition, so they take a little bit longer. It gives us a good window for everything to run as smoothly as possible.
We are getting a lot of questions. So this one's from Taylor. Taylor wants to know, is there anything I can do at home to get my dog prepared for a grooming session so she won't be nervous?
Yes.
Good question, Taylor.
Yes. If when you have a new puppy, if you blow dry your hair, have the puppy relax. Give her a bone. Have her in the bathroom with you. Just getting used to the sound of the dryer.
Interesting.
You know, like it's everything's very positive. The brush, you know, you want to introduce the brush to the dog before just going towards the dog to brush him. You want him to smell it, get used to it, know what it is, know it's not going to hurt them. Maybe pet them with it first before trying to take a knot out. You know, visit your groomer, even if it's just to come in and say hi and get a treat. And get
we have a lot of people that do that, Taylor. We have a lot of people that come into camp and they're like, my dog is going to get a groom and we want to come to you in a month, but we just want to get her used to this place. And we love that because usually that means they're a puppy and we love puppies. Of course, we love all dogs. So feel free to come and you'll just meet the groomer, you'll meet the staff, and your dog can get used to camp. So Adrian wants to know, at what age should I begin getting my dog groomed?
That's also a very breed specific question. On a long-haired puppy, as soon as they have their first round of puppy shots, it's recommended to just come. Even if you don't want the haircut yet, to get a bath, to get a brush out, we'll get them ready and prepared for what's going to happen at the groomers.
Gotcha. Tanya would like to know, my dog hates having her nails clipped. Is there anything I can do about that?
That's a little tricky. Some dogs, you can try a nail grinder. Some dogs don't like the sound the nail grinder does, but you can just
what is
run
a nail grinder?
It's a Drummel, so it's. I think we have one. We have one right here.
Yay! I get to pet Maggie. Hi, pretty girl.
So this is a Drummel, and what it does is it spins and it files. This one, there we go. So you would just take the nail.
And this is usually less like scary to the dog than the actual clipper?
Certain dogs. Each dog's different. They're like us. You know, they're certain dogs like certain ways of doing things. If they've never had a bad experience with a nail clipper, and sometimes when they're puppies, without realizing, owners will cut their nails not knowing that there is a vein that runs inside of them and cut that. So then they kind of always relate it to, oh my god, it's a nail clipper and that's going to happen to me again. So it's a good idea to, as new puppy owners or new dog owners, to use a nail file instead of a clipper.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. We got a question from Jessica. She wants to know, do you have any suggestions for a really nervous dog? Hers is very sweet, but they've tried to get him groomed and he has meltdowns.
Was he adopted, or you've had him since a baby?
Jessica, if you're still watching, she wants to know if you've had him since he was a baby, or was he rescued? Did you adopt him? Yes, she did adopt.
She adopted.
Yeah.
Okay, so unfortunately, you really don't know what has happened before adopting a dog, where they could have went, you know, hopefully not such a bad experience, but they could have had a bad experience. The
With
main
the
thing,
groomer?
yes,
Gotcha.
or any vet, any place that's different to them, any new smells. And, you know, it's not necessarily just the groomer or the grooming salon. It could be any new different place, because they've found, you know, they're safe now with you and they don't want to go anywhere else. So it's really if you're very positive about it, if you want to bring her in, get to know your groomer, it's always very good to stick with the same person. Because the dogs get to know you and love you and respect you. It's a much easier process. It's much easier on the dog. So if you came in and, you know, met with a specific groomer that you liked or in your area, and just have them spend some time together. Have some treats, come in, sit down with her, relaxed and calm. She'll start to get that, okay, this isn't such a bad place. I come here, I get treats, my mom's happy, this lady's nice. And then start the grooming procedure that way. Or some dogs will prefer a quieter day. Like if you let them know my dog is very anxious, you know, is there a certain day of the week that you would recommend me to bring the dog? Is also another way. Sometimes the sound.
We here at camp, we have quieter days, and then we have longer or like busier days. We have days when there are two different groomers with their dogs in. So when there are nervous dogs, we usually recommend they come on a day like today when Sarah's the only groomer in and it's just Sarah's dogs, and then Sarah is able to give like the one-on-one attention that your dog would need, Jessica. Very good thoughts. We have more questions here. So one question is, why can't I stay in the room while my dog gets groomed? I know I can't, but why? That's a very good question.
That is a good question. A lot of times it's like, I don't know if you have children, but if I'm not with my children, everyone's like, oh, your kids are so well behaved and great. But when I'm with my children,
I know where you're going.
you know, they act differently when the owner's around and when the owner's not. It also, there's other animals and other dogs in here as well as your own dog. So they can be distracted, and you can't help but see a puppy and make cute puppy noises. All those cute puppy noises can distract the dog that is on the grooming table.
Unless they're like Maggie.
Yes, Maggie.
She's beautiful. Okay, now she's getting a
I know,
little
see, like that. And when you're working with sharp tools and everything, you want them to be as calm and relaxed as possible.
I did want to let you know, Sarah, Jessica responded. She said, that's a good idea. She's the one with the rescue who gets very nervous.
Okay.
She said, good idea. Thanks. You're right. He doesn't want to go anywhere. So thanks for the advice. Jessica, we understand. We have a lot of rescues here. So, yeah, you definitely, he is lucky to have you. That's wonderful. Adrian would like to know, should I stay for the groom if my dog is nervous? Kind of a back-to-back question, right?
Well, it definitely, there has been very few times with an older dog that will feel more comfortable if the owner is around. Now, but that would have to be, I would recommend doing a private groom. You know, having
like a home groom?
Yeah, like a home groom or something like that if you're that nervous about leaving the dog. It's more, I feel, for me, like, you don't know what's going on when you're not there. So you definitely need to be or meet the person and feel comfortable enough so when you do leave your pet, you know they're in good hands and they're well taken care of.
Yeah, meet the groomer, take a tour, get used to the facility. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just get a little close-up here of your scissoring action.
Sure.
That's cool how you're doing the paws there. And this is to get like the specific look that the owner wants, the parent wants?
Yes, yes.
Gotcha. I like it.
And that's another thing too. When you're first going to a groomer for the first time, the groomer's getting to know you and your tastes and what you like as much as you are getting to know them. So it's always a great idea to bring in a picture. If you can't, you know, if usually you come in and people will have the habit of saying they want a puppy cut. Certain grooming salons will have a certain style they call a puppy cut, but every salon is different. So the actual meaning of a puppy cut is the same length all over, which can be any length. So if, you know, you would know, I want, you know, an inch long puppy cut, a half an inch, or bring in a picture and say, you know, I really like this length. Can you do this, the same length all over? Instead of coming in with nothing. And then we have to try to work and guess the best that we can to get the look that you need.
We do have a lot of people here at camp who bring in pictures of, if they don't have pictures of like their dog's past groom, then they'll bring in pictures of other dogs that they like the grooms of, you know. But, you know, I'm not a groomer, but my advice would be pick the same breed as the dog is, because we've had, you know, some people who have like a Labradoodle and they come in and they do bring a picture of a dog who is just actually a totally different breed, and they like the cut. And you know, Sarah and our other groomers, they're able to get the general idea, but it's never going to look exactly the same. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Ethel wants us to know her grand dog Jackson goes here, and I think you've actually groomed Jackson, haven't you, Sarah?
Which Jackson? I have a few Jacksons.
Stanger. Jackson Stanger. I believe, Ethel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's black and white.
He's a Shih Tzu.
Yes.
I love Jackson. He's definitely, he's happy every time coming in here. He says he's my little buddy.
Aww. And this is the back legs you're doing, or is this the sanitary trim?
This is the back legs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you already do the sanitary trim?
Nope.
Gotcha.
Not yet.
What are you going to do with the tail?
Trim.
Gotcha. Nice poofy tail.
Trim on her tail.
Love it. I'm going to do a little underhand
Sure.
angle here. Now Maggie looks like a giant. Ethel says, my granddog Jackson got the best haircuts at Camp Canine. He lives in New Jersey now, but I'm sure he misses Camp Canine.
We miss him very much.
I remember doing his going away party, Ethel. What type of shampoo do you use? Can I bring in my own? That's the next question.
You are more than welcome to bring in your own shampoo. I recommend always labeling it before time.
With the dog's name or your name or
last name and dog's name.
Gotcha.
We usually go by or know our pet friends better than our human friends.
That's very true.
And we use all different shampoos depending on the coat. There's oatmeal shampoo, there's hypo, medicated, whitener, just your regular shampoo, and they're all depend on the dog's skin type and coat type. The difference between a medicated and an oatmeal is the medicated is geared more towards actual skin disorders, like scaling or things like that. Where oatmeal is good, like if your dog just gets like winter itch or has itchy skin. Where the hypo would be used if your dogs are allergic to things. Hypo is completely hypoallergenic. It has nothing in there that the dog would react to. No scent, no smell.
And we have all those options here? Yeah. Okay. So we have the oatmeal, the hypo, the regular, and then whatever they want to bring, they can bring as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Kelly says, hi, Maggie. Look at her. She says hi back.
Hey. Who's that? Who is that?
Ethel says Jackson will be a big brother in June. There's a baby girl.
Oh, congratulations.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
I'm assuming that's a human baby girl. Might be a doggy. Either way, it's amazing. Gonna get some close-up action here.
Sure.
Kelly said she just turned. Yes, she did. She knew you were saying hello. Oh, Kelly's standing here with Mom. So Maggie's mom is watching. Oh, I keep saying her name and distracting
She's
her.
like,
I'm
yes.
sorry, baby. Adrian would like to know, how do you deal with dogs that aren't the best behaved, like my dog? Adrian does have a crazy dog, and we love him so much. Is this Buddy? Yes. And you do groom Buddy, don't you?
Yes, yes. We all take turns on Buddy. He, I mean, with dogs who, I wouldn't say that, misbehaved. It's usually more they're either scared or nervous or have Napoleon issues, like little dogs. And it's really, the calmer you are, the better the dog is. Like, without, you can't get mad, you can't get upset, you can't get sad. You just gotta be. Groomer? Yes. Yeah, you just gotta be calm and work through it.
Sure.
Some dogs will learn, if I bark or growl or cry, the human will stop. Where they're not really in pain or they're not really angry, they just learned how to manipulate us.
Interesting.
So by just ignoring it and doing it and acting like they're not even doing what they're doing, they'll usually tend to get the hint and stop fairly quickly.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. I got another question that says, does my dog have to be vaccinated to get groomed?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. That's actually New York state law, so it is a requirement.
And it's also, even though your dog may be healthy or it stays inside or whatever the case may be, has an illness where you can't get shots, the other dogs around can bring in diseases and bring in things just from walking outside where they're vaccinated against, but because your dog is not, can catch it.
Very interesting.
Also, if, it's for the other dogs as well. If the unvaccinated dog comes in with things
Maggie
that aren't normally vaccinated for.
there are any more questions, feel free to ask them. Sarah's got a lot of great info today. And every day, let's be real.
Thank you.
Are you going to start the face here?
Yeah, I'm going to do the head a little bit so you can see. And Maggie likes to keep her long eyelashes because she's so pretty. Well, that's another thing. These here, some people get confused with the hair that falls over the eye and the actual eyelash.
Look at her eyelash.
Right on the rim of your dog's eye. Mm-hmm. They're a little bit coarser. Those are the dog's actual eyelashes.
Interesting.
The hair above is just her fur, her regular hair.
Like her eyebrows. I call them her eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's probably not her eyebrows, but...
Well, well, she has eyebrow all over. But
true story. Adrian would like to know, Buddy also gets tear stains. What's the best way to deal with those?
Okay, this is my personal experience from grooming. I noticed that dogs that drink from metal bowls or certain tap waters, depending, it's a mineral deposit. So anything that has the potential to have a high mineral content will create tear stains. I've had a lot of clients with the same issue, and most of them use metal bowls or aluminum bowls. And after stopping that and using bottled water, the tear stains will go away.
That is very interesting.
But if your dog has a little bit of dry eye and constantly tears, it's harder to get rid of that.
Is there like medication, or is that kind of just like the way the dog is?
They do have certain products
look at her little...
that can help with it. But I'm a little bit of a natural. I don't like to give too much stuff to my pets or recommend them. Because you don't really know in the long run what is it doing.
Maggie's mama says hello again. Aww. Maggie says, hi, Mama.
She's like, hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I distracted her. That's my job. Distract the dog. She's just too fluffy. I can't not. And again, is this kind of like doing the face? Is that kind of just like winging it for each specific dog, or is there a specific order you go through?
Each breed will get a similar look or similar style, unless the owner wants it differently.
And she's a Labradoodle, correct?
She is a mini golden doodle.
Gotcha. Do they get the same cuts usually?
Yeah, she's a golden doodle. For the most part, they're pretty similar. But with any doodle, some doodles get more of the poodle, and some get more of the other half. So coats vary drastically. So on one dog might have, like how Maggie's face, it's very straight down here, it's fluffy up here. Some of them are fluffy all over, or, you know, it's very, they can be very different. And the texture of the hair.
Oh, she's an Australian Labradoodle.
She's an Australian Labradoodle.
Says her mama. Well, we're going to have to change that in our records. Sorry, Katie. Maggie, you're relaxing. The latest question is, if my dog is matted, can you get them out, or will I need to shave him down?
It depends on how matted. Mats are, if the dog is used to being brushed or used to getting them out and cooperates and doesn't seem to be too affected by the process, We can try, and we have tools that can help and, you know, help break up the mat instead of just trying to brush it out in certain, you know. It's definitely something the groomer would have to look at ahead of time to let you know for sure. But if it's to the skin, it stops the skin from being able to breathe. So they will create sores and other things underneath the mats, where a lot of people don't realize that. So when the dog comes home and there's little red marks around, it's not necessarily from the brushing or anything being done. It's from the skin not being able to breathe while the mat was on top.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that's kind of sad.
But that would be more of a severe.
Sure, like a lot of the rescues that we groom, you know, donate the grooms to. A lot of them are very matted. Adrian would also like to know, what about our older dogs? Does a dog's skin and coat change with age?
Yes,
good question.
It does.
Does it?
Yes, it does. When the dogs get older, their nails tend to grow faster. They're usually thicker, but more brittle. So it's a good idea to have their nails. Yes.
Interesting.
Good idea to have their nails done more often. Every dog is going to be different when it comes to the growth of their nails. For the most part, when puppies' nails grow faster, older dogs usually grow faster. Any dog with a short face, brachiocephalic, usually have curly nails.
Now, what's that word? Brachio what?
Cephalic. It means
brachiocephalic.
like a pug, a bulldog.
The ones with the short
yes,
noses.
Shih Tzus, Pekingeses. Their nails tend to be more curly and come into the paw pad. So it's very important to stay on top of that. The more you walk on cement, go for walks on cement, or just throw a ball on cement, it will help to wear that down. Yeah. Yes. You don't see as much of a problem in the city because so many owners walk their dogs. It's more in like the suburbs or, you know, upstate Long Island, where the dogs more have a yard and they're not walked as often that you see it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And that could curl into the paw pad, which is very painful. It feels like you have a rock stuck in your foot that you're walking around all day. It also, with the older dogs, can put pressure on the joints when their nails are long and they're kind of walking over them. So any dog that has a little bit hard time getting up or down or going upstairs or kind of just seems like they're in pain a little bit from getting up, it's a good idea to check the nails to see how long they are.
Interesting. So that can be painful for the really long nails.
Okay.
Another question. I've seen dogs around with dyed hair. Does that hurt the dog?
Most dyes that are used on dogs are like food coloring based, so they don't, you know, it's meant for dogs. I would not recommend going to the store and using any kind of human hair product.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess we see some of that here in New York. We actually have a few dogs who come in and get their hair dyed here.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking good.
Okay, and then we'll do her tail a little bit.
Okay. Might to come over here to this side. Switch your
Bump you out
angles
of your
here.
way.
So we'll do the tail. We are almost at the end of our live stream. We're going to put pictures of Maggie's finished groom in the comments section. But if you have any questions for Sarah before we go ahead and end up in the next 5 minutes, please feel free to ask them. We've had a lot of good questions today. And it's a poofy tail we like, right?
Yeah, she gets a trim.
It's very bright.
The yellow wall.
I'm like trying to find the perfect angle. Maggie's like, you're filming this, right?
I know. She's like, look
Why
at her
are
face.
you
She's like,
filming this?
excuse me.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Maggie.
No.
And there are vets that do nail clipping, baths, etc. Why choose a groomer over a vet? Good question.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say all. From my experience, a lot of, from a animal hospital, they're used to surgical procedures. They're used to getting in dogs that are very matted, need to be shaved down, getting surgeries and need to be shaved down. So if you want more of a style to your cut and not so much just to have the dog shaved down, a groomer is usually more
Gotcha.
knowledgeable about that.
That makes a lot of sense.
And I mean, when you go to a vet, there are a lot of sick animals at a vet hospital.
Yeah.
Where at the groomer, we won't take in a sick dog.
Yeah. Yeah. And Adrian would like to know, what about cat grooming? Do you do cat grooming?
I will only do cats that are used to getting groomed. They usually don't like the whole procedure. There's a lot of dog smells going on. There's a lot of loud noises. Kittens who have been doing this from babies are pretty used to it. They're very laid back and they're not as stressed out from the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you were to take an adult cat and bring to the groomer, it's going to be a lot more stressful situation than it would be for a dog most of the time.
Okay, we're just about finished up here. Maggie's got how much longer of this groom do you think she's got?
I have to do the whole other half
Sure.
of her head and her body.
Mhm.
So, however, another half of what we've
Gotcha.
done so far.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. So we've a lot of great tips from Sarah today. Here's Maggie. We say goodbye one more time, Maggie.
Say bye, Maggie. Say bye.
So just to sum it up, for those of you who came a little bit late to the game, Sarah gave us a lot of good tips, one of which is your attitude as a dog's parent. It means a lot. If your dog is a little bit nervous coming to the grooming salon, you as a parent should not be nervous. Be excited. Make your dog excited. That's going to have a huge difference on whether or not your dog enjoys the experience. Also, brush your dog's teeth at home. Brush your dog's hair at home. You can come here for brush outs. They start at $10. They go up from there depending on breed and condition. And Sarah was saying every 4 to 6 weeks for a long-haired dog to get a groom. That's the recommended amount of time for long-haired dogs. For short-haired dogs, she recommends getting a bath once a month, but no more than that. Don't give your dog a bath more than once a month. Anything else? Is there anything else?
Yes.
All right.
Always brush your dog before bathing at home.
Okay. That's
the water will tighten the knots and make them much harder to remove or get out.
Interesting. It's kind of the same with our hair, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Anything else? Sarah, Maggie, anything to say? Well, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. It was so much fun. You're very welcome to continue posting your questions. I will consult with Sarah and we'll be able to answer any of your questions in the comment threads below. And keep an eye out for Maggie's finished groom pictures. We'll get them to you and you can see a little bit more about Sarah's work. And thanks so much for joining us. Bye, guys.
Bye.